Takuma Shinozaki is a new graduate working at his new job in product development. As part of the A-team for his company, he works alongside his senior Shiori Katase, who has been at the company for 3 years already. Shiori helps to guide him at the workplace, even though she is very small. One day on the way to work, Takuma sees Shiori playing with a cat on the side of the road. After ranting about the cat, they head into work together where Shiori notifies their manager Chihiro Akana she has prepared their team for an upcoming project competition. Although Shiori is small, she is the most responsible and motherly in the team. When Shiori complains about some shoulder aches, Takuma accidentally suggests a massage for her stiff shoulders but immediately regrets it after his imagination goes wild. Shiori turns the tables by offering him a massage instead, and she somehow successfully gives a good massage even though her hands are small. During the massage, Takuma quickly becomes embarrassed and decides to retreat. Later at work, he is worrying over his first major proposal for the company. While he practices his presentation, Shiori suddenly surprises him. She gives him advice, since she also had a presentation when she first started working, and tells him to relax because during her presentation she had her PowerPoint upside down. Takuma is still nervous because he thinks his public speaking skills are poor, so Shiori offers him a good luck charm by holding her hand close to his face. But their close proximity accidentally embarrasses the both of them. Later, Takuma is taking a role for the end-of-the-month drinking party. He confirms Aiko Yamajishi's attendance, who is another new graduate in Team B, but his invite gets rejected bluntly by Chinatsu Hayakawa, another new graduate. Aiko wonders if they are dating since they seem close, but both he and Chinatsu flatly denies it. Later, Shiori asks about his close behavior with Chinatsu, and Takuma reveals that he and Chinatsu actually grew up together as childhood friends. Takuma is shocked when Shiori admits to feeling jealous over this, and Takuma wonders if she might have feelings for him. But it turns out that Shiori is jealous that he is friends with the cool Chinatsu. To help them become friends, he decides to invite all of them to eat after work. The next time at work, Takuma sees Shiori calmly correcting another coworker's work, and he is surprised that she isn't angry that her coworkers have been slacking. Shiori thinks that as long as people admit to their mistakes she won't become angry, but she also asks if he has been working well as well. Takuma is taken aback when Shiori climbs nearby stairs to pat his head, and she encourages him to work hard for the team. Later, Takuma is taking her words to heart and is working late. Shiori approaches with 2 drinks since she bought 2 on accident, and she wonders why he seems to be staying late. After Takuma explains his workload, Shiori volunteers her help since a senior should always look out for their junior. They finish late in the day and decide to have dinner together, and when Shiori sneezes, Takuma gives her his sweater to her embarrassment. Walking to the restaurant, the sweater makes Shiori feel too self-conscious, so she gives it back. She also doesn't want their coworkers to get any ideas. At the restaurant, Takuma watches as Shiori takes a long time to order since she loves all the choices. She finally settles on pudding, which she really loves, and Takuma thanks her for helping him adapt to his new job. He reveals that he successfully had his presentation that day and it was thanks to her it was successful. Shiori is happy but reminds him that he shouldn't work too hard or too late. As they eat dinner together, the next morning, Takuma sees Shiori again playing with a cat, but she gets confused when Takuma makes cat sounds as well to make fun of her. Meanwhile, their other coworkers enjoy watching the two of them interact. Later at work, Shiori gets a gift of cookies from another employee to give to her team. She spots Takuma relaxing in the break room and confronts him looking serious. After asking him if he likes bears or bunnies better, a question that greatly confuses him, she reveals and gives him a bear cookie. The next day, Shiori arrives at work early before everyone else. She accidentally loses her pen under Takuma's desk, who doesn't notice her when he arrives at work. They get into an embarrassing situation together when Shiori accidentally hits her head on the desk. Meanwhile, their manager Chihiro and coworker Aiko arrive looking unimpressed. Later, Takuma sends some documents to Shiori, who is pleased at the quality of his work, so she pats his head. Chihiro watches them interact and doesn't think they act like coworkers very much. He wonders if they have another relationship instead, so he decides to send them to a restaurant so he can spy on them. After they both leave after work, Chihiro follows them since he is trying to see if they are secretly a couple. But while spying, he gets caught by Chinatsu, who also sees Takuma and Shiori heading into a restaurant together. Chihiro's imagination runs wild, and he becomes worried that he has stumbled into a love triangle, but Chinatsu insists she has absolutely no feelings towards Takuma. Instead, she gets roped into spying with Chihiro. At the restaurant, Takuma and Shiori are impressed with the fancy setting and view, but Chihiro sees that they seem to be ignoring the romantic setting. Chinatsu wonders what is going on, and Chihiro reveals he is a great lover of other people's romance, which she thinks is very weird. Meanwhile, Takuma and Shiori are enjoying the view from their seats, but Takuma gets embarrassed when he realizes that they are sitting close to each other. Chihiro happily watches the situation, as the coworkers have dinner and decide to walk home together. The next day, Chinatsu spots Takuma heading to work and joins him. She asks about the umbrella he is holding, and he reveals that he heard on the TV that the lucky item of the day is an umbrella, so he brought one. As it turns out, it rains after work and thankfully he brought an umbrella. He spots Shiori waiting out the rain and offers to walk with her, and they end up sharing an umbrella together. Takuma is too nervous to talk, and he tries to keep the umbrella over her even though his shoulder gets wet. Although his small talk is bad, Shiori is able to save the conversation by talking about their coworkers and encouraging him to get closer to the rest of his team. She also tells him the section chief has his eye on him, since he heard good things about Takuma's work. Shiori parts ways with him to go to a bookstore, but reveals in the process she had an umbrella the whole time. A day later, Shiori notices that Takuma is missing and Chihiro reveals that her junior called in sick that morning. Shiori wonders if the rain got him sick, so she gets worried for him. While Takuma is recovering, he suddenly gets a visit from Shiori, who is checking up on him. She also brought him some supplies and offers to make him food while he recovers. She ends up doing more chores around his apartment, and reveals that she considers herself a big sister. She later leaves a little embarrassed after spending a lot of time with Takuma. Soon Takuma is feeling better and he goes to meet Chinatsu to get advice on a gift for Shiori. They debate the traditions of workplace gifts, and Chinatsu suggests he give her something food related. After they decide on an apron, Takuma prepares to give the thank you gift to her but almost stops himself out of embarrassment. He encourages himself and ends up giving the gift anyway, and while Shiori is grateful, it leads to an awkward situation between the two of them. Meanwhile, Chihiro watches them happily. Later at work, Yuisuke Yamagishi from the public relations department arrives looking for Chihiro. Yuisuke complains to Takuma since it is Tuesday, and the week has only started, but Chinatsu interrupts them and tells them to get over it and start working. Meanwhile, Shiori and Takuma say hi to each other, and Takuma feels like the workweek might not be so bad. Later, Chihiro asks Takuma if they can speak alone to see if Takuma is adapting well to the workplace. Chihiro reveals that Shiori was tracking his interviews and application process with some excitement, since she enjoys meeting new people. Shiori overhears them because she is eating nearby, and they invite her to join them. They talk about Takuma's first day at work, where he first was introduced to Shiori. Takuma was shocked by Shiori's small size, but became intimidated by her mentorship when she started to teach him the work. At first, Takuma thought he had made a terrible first impression on Shiori, and he gets nervous asking her for help. But she was just looking serious to try to impress him, and was actually very helpful on his first day. Shiori also appreciated being called senior, since she had never mentored anyone at the workplace before. The both of them ended up quickly becoming friends, but their first meeting still makes them embarrassed. A few days later, Takuma is assigned a presentation to another company, and Shiori helps him. On their way back, Shiori sees cute plushies inside a crane game, and they accidentally admit that the plushies look like each other. Shiori is amused that Takuma finds her similar to a bunny plushie, and she finds Takuma similar to a bear plushie. Takuma offers to try to win the plushies for them since he used to play a lot of arcade games in high school. They bond over a mutual fondness of cute things together, although Takuma is embarrassed to admit that he likes cute things. Shiori watches Takuma play the crane game, and Takuma becomes amused by her reactions while he is making his attempts. Eventually, they are able to win the plushies together, and Shiori wants to keep them together so they won't be lonely, which inflames Takuma's imagination. Shiori decides to name the plushies Shiori and Takuma after themselves. Later at work, Aiko asks Takuma and Chinatsu for their opinion on a new Meowtaro game that she will be designing for. She reveals it will be a dating game, which confuses them. Takuma is uncertain about making a dating game from a cute mascot, and his fears are confirmed when an arriving Shiori, who is a fan of Meowtaro, is confused by the dating game. Aiko really wants to make the game, so she asks them for romantic advice, but unfortunately none of them have any romantic experience. Takuma points out that Chinatsu did have a romantic encounter when a guy helped her with a broken shoe on her way to an interview, but it turns out the guy was her interviewer and future manager Chihiro. Chinatsu also doesn't find Chihiro very attractive anymore because of his weird behaviors. Later that night, Shiori is staring at the plushies she won with Takuma, and she is starting to regret calling them Takuma and Shiori. She cheers herself up by adding clothes to the plushies and then gets self-conscious, so she makes the Takuma plushie face the wall. Later, she accidentally knocks the two plushies together, which makes her imagine a romantic encounter with Takuma. After she corrects their position, she thinks about her growing friendship with Takuma. And this is all for this video. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.